Even in yellow flag conditions, these rip currents can occur. We're actually standing in front of one right now, and as you can see, it's indicated by that no swim flag. So for reference, I'm about 5 feet tall, and the water is well past my ankles. If I go a little bit deeper, it's to my knees. Panama City Beach Police tells us that 3 people are detained at this time in connection to that shooting. But Hutchinson Boulevard is open. There is just a heavy police presence. The area of most concern is actually the the swamp fire. As of now, it's burned over 28,000 acres. Now, what goes in this emergency go bag? It's going to be important files like your birth certificate, car titles, things that are very hard to replace. This is a devastating scene. One family has lost all their belongings and their home just before Christmas. Stay alert for flying beads on the beach this weekend because you know what time of year it is. It's Mardi Gras. He's about 5 months old and he won't get much bigger than this, and a total cuddler.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
8 law enforcement agencies across Bay County came together Friday night with one purpose in mind: to get impaired drivers off the road.
If you come out here and you drive drunk, I'm going to arrest you. I'm going to find you. I'm going to arrest you.
Law enforcement officials tell us there are clues that they look for that may indicate if a driver is impaired.
We're looking for slurred speech, bloodshot eyes, glassy eyes, watery eyes.
Show maintain lane is the best one. Speeding, like drunk speed all the time.
They tell us one traffic stop can make all the difference when it comes to saving a life.
Essentially, the only difference between a misdemeanor DUI charge and a DUI manslaughter charge is one police officer that made a decision to do a traffic stop.
And we started off the night with quite a few of them.
Beach 36, 1050.
Beach 45.
You're going 65 and a 45.
A few citations and warnings later, we were called to Highway 390 and Frankfort Avenue in Panama City. Officers say a motorcyclist was going 35 miles per hour over the speed limit and attempting to pass in a non-passing lane. When he was questioned by Officer Arafa, the motorcyclist said he was headed to another bar but had already been drinking earlier in the night.
How much do you have to drink tonight? Couple beers. Couple beers? Okay. Do you mind doing field sobriety exercises for me? That's fine.
Officer Rafa asked the man to do several field sobriety exercises: the walk and turn, the one-leg stand, and he also examined his eyes to see if there was an involuntary jerk, which is often a sign of impairment. The motorcyclist failed the field sobriety test and was arrested for driving under the influence and reckless driving.
Essentially, we stopped him from harming himself as well as possibly other people.
Officer Rafa says he hopes the no-tolerance policy and stricter enforcement will encourage people to think before you drink and not get behind the wheel impaired.
Our main purpose is to get people in the mindset of thinking that I shouldn't be doing this.
In Bay County, Tess Rowland, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
It was terrifying.
The old saying, cats have 9 lives, rings true for the Salty Cats of St. Andrews Rescue Group.
And the smoke was just rolling in.
On Friday, flames from the Atkins Avenue fire came dangerously close to President Jackie Mahal's home. Within minutes, she had to evacuate dozens of cats, some feral and some sickly, with limited supplies, and transport them to a friend's house in Fountain. She was able to do it with the help of 3 kind strangers. It's an absolute miracle that all 86 cats and 1 bunny made it out alive.
It's definitely a miracle. I honestly don't know how I got them in their cages. And I don't know where those 3 guys came from, but they were placed there for a reason.
Like many, Mahal stayed behind for Hurricane Michael, but she says experiencing the wildfire has been more traumatic.
Fire comes out of nowhere. I mean, it moved so quickly, and the smoke was just engulfing the building.
The animals feel the same.
He's actually so stressed he's pulled his hair out.
As of now, the buildings for the cat rescue are still intact, but with the wildfire raging on, that may not be the case for long. Mahal says she's still looking at thousands of dollars in damage.
All their cat towers, their beds, their blankets have to be thrown out.
Reporting in Bay County, Tess Rowland, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
30-something years of being in the fire service, I don't know that I've ever witnessed a fire of that magnitude.
It's a day that's forever etched in many South Walton Fire District firefighters' minds.
The guys put a heck of a fight up.
On May 6th, 2020, the Musset Bayou fire initially started on the north side of Highway 98, but with high winds, ashes from the fire crossed Highway 98, spreading to other neighborhoods.
393 to Musset Bayou, I could see a plume of smoke, and that's when I knew, all right, there's something to this.
Fire Marshal Sammy Sanchez was among the first on scene in the Thompson Road area after residents had been evacuated.
The fire jumped the road, so I was stuck on Thompson Road, and I couldn't go south because you couldn't see from me to you.
The fire destroyed 32 homes and 18 more were significantly damaged, with losses estimated at $10 million. It's a pill that's still hard to swallow for first responders, but they're thankful nobody was injured or lost their lives.
It's always life and property, but it really became we need to get really big on life and to make sure we don't have any fatalities. We'll write off structures if we have to, which is a hard thing to do as a command officer because that's somebody's personal property.
2 years later, fire and forestry personnel are reflecting on the efforts to put out the blaze, work that took 115 firefighting personnel in the first 24 hours alone, some of which were deployed to assist in the 5-mile swamp fire happening at the same time in Santa Rosa County.
And in 22 years, I've never seen a fire to where there was more of a combined effort as a whole. People in Walton County should be proud of their emergency response agencies and how those connections are there to keep them safe.
And they're working to be even more prepared in future events. South Walton Fire District has added a brush truck to their brigade and more forestry gear. They are also working with Walton County to change land development codes.
Pine straw played a big part in the spread of the fire because as the ash would land in the pine straw, it would take off.
And on Thompson Road, despite damage still apparent in wooded areas, the area is rising from the ashes.
This whole place was just in flames.
Zach Myers, a property manager from Talcon Group, remembers getting the fateful phone call that day.
My boss called me and said, hey, the houses are going down. I just finished 2 houses. They were up for sale. One was under contract.
His heart was broken for many of his clients.
I've been building here for a while, so I knew a lot of the people, and it was just upsetting that they lost all their belongings.
Myers says homes are still being rebuilt by residents while others made the choice to move on. And the sound of construction is a sign of new hope for the area.
It's nice to see this place fill out.
In Walton County, Tess Rowland, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
Do you all want to see some of these books we have in here?
Matt and Lauren Kirchgessner have made their way back to Panama City Beach to donate more than 200 books to the St. Bernadette Catholic School.
It was a little challenging. We're trying to take baby steps and just try to make this comfortable again.
6-year-old Addie was an avid reader.
I did a little.
The Kirchgessners collected 1,000 books through the Addie and Baylor Foundation. They've already donated to 3 schools in Louisville and 1 school in Bargeville, Kentucky. But they couldn't forget Panama City Beach.
Show me your sand angels. We love sand angels. This literally is our second home, and our kids loved the beach.
The two were greeted with a prayer from the kids, a moment that brought tears to their eyes. And then the excitement kicked in.
Oh, that's the one? Cool. There's some more of those in there too, okay?
Now, why did you pick the book about stars?
Because I love frogs.
Is that one of your favorite books?
And see the smiles on the kids' faces when they get those books is it's pretty special.
And a humble reminder as they discovered one of the children in the class shared Addie's name.
You know, you hear, Addie, which book did you get? And
it's tough, but it lets us know that we're doing the right thing also. That helps us through the grieving process to see that there's such caring people out there.
And the two are not stopping here. They plan to do more for the Panama City Beach community.
We've met with the fire chief and his staff and just kind of getting the ball rolling on some different fundraisers that we can possibly do at them.
In Panama City Beach, Tess Rowland, News 13, Panhandle Strong.